Hello everyone, this is Arisaig, coming at you today with the second part of our Pitfalls, Perspective on Pitfalls mini-series. In this one, we're going to be going over denial. Denial, which you can read on the Jedi Conclave Facebook in the notes section, is outlined as the following. This pitfall clouds the mind and obscures the way ahead. It is the opposite of the habit of acceptance. So, what does this mean for us as Jedi realists? Oftentimes you will see that people will, if things are happening in their life, that they will deny that these things are happening. If somebody, example, say I, as a knight of this order, and as a teacher and a friend, come forward and say, hey, this is what I'm witnessing in your current path. Perhaps we should be trying to do this. Maybe you should lay off so and so. Maybe you should. Sometimes you have to admit that the problem is with yourself. Denying that, it becomes a pitfall. It almost acts sort of like over-attachment. It becomes an attachment to an idea of what you are, rather than what you believe yourself to be, rather than what you are. So, it becomes denial, which means you're just stagnating because you're over-attached to something else, and as a result, you fail. So it is the opposite of the habit of acceptance. So let's go up to the habit of acceptance, which says a Jedi accepts what is and works from this stance. Attempting to deny reality only clouds the path. Again, you can see when we go up to acceptance, it talks about denial again. So it denies what is reality. This is a very simple concept. Sometimes people will become, a very common example that you'll see in the Jedi community is an over-attachment to the fiction. Fiction is great, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of fiction. However, it is not real. It is sort of like parables, if you want to draw that comparison. It is the stories that you can draw lessons into reality from. However, none of it is real. We know it's not real. It's just fun stories. You can learn from them, but they are not reality. And as a result, going into that state of denial becomes a fantasy state. It becomes role-playing rather than reality, and as a result, you will see that people will just start closing in on themselves. They'll just lock and be like, no, everyone else is not true believers in this path. It's fine to be a fan. It's great to be a fan, but it's not reality. It's a story, and it's fun. So, as a result, Jedi have to accept what is. What is what you can see. Sometimes this method of accepting reality is painful, because sometimes it is looking down and being like, oh no, I can't see my own toes anymore because I've put on a lot of weight. You can go into denial and be like, oh no, it's this and this, and you can make excuses for it, and sometimes there are valid excuses. There's medical exemptions for such a thing. Sometimes there's a genetic factor. However, sometimes this can be overworked through hard effort and dieting. But sometimes you have to look down and be like, well, maybe those 800 empty bags of Doritos in the corner might be the reason why this has happened. It sucks. Okay, accepting reality sucks, because reality is harsh. It can be beautiful, but it can also be extremely ugly. Sometimes you have to realize, okay, I've put on weight because I ate unhealthy. I'm weak because I'm not working out. My mind is slipping because I'm not studying, and instead I'm consuming mindless media on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. Again, mindless media on YouTube is fun on occasions, just like a chocolate bar is fun on occasion. But too much rots the mind, and as a result, you can start going into this backward spiral into what you used to be, and as a result, you might end up falling prey to denial, and then it just starts over again. What other methods can we see denial taking form? Now, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but the apprenticeship model in the Jedi community. Very often we will see new members of the community come in and say that they don't need training, that they've been trained by the Force, their whole lives they've been Jedi, which is like, yeah, like I guess if you want to like split hairs, everybody who comes to this path has been Jedi their whole life, just didn't know the word for it. But denying the reality that sometimes training is good. You don't have to be trained. If you're new to this path, but also you don't need to accept a training master. You don't need to become a knight. Being an excellent Jedi is sometimes makes you better than some knights out there, because some knights they're doing it for the title. They're not doing it for why we should be doing this, to help the community, to become a recognized teacher in the community, so that we can train others and help others as we have been helped, and just being able to lead. That calling is not for everybody. It's not easy, and sometimes it's just like some people just want to become a Jedi just because it helps them get into that mindset of fixing their lives, training, and getting themselves better as a result. So let's go over that, just the pitfall once more. Where have we gone? This pitfall clouds the mind and obscures the way ahead. So going into denial, you will just end up creating an idea of where you're meant to go. However, sometimes that way you're meant to go is only real in your own mind. It's not grounded in reality, as we've said before, and as a result, it hides the path. Denial is, if we want to go into the classical code, when we say ignorance yet knowledge, denial is embracing ignorance over knowledge. So then you end up embracing this ignorance, which is an aspect of the dark side, and it clouds your vision, clouds your mind, and clouds the way ahead. And as a result, you're not going to proceed properly. You're going to stumble more. It's why we call it a pitfall, is because it hides what is, and as a result, you're going to stumble a lot more because you're not going to be able to see the holes in the path before you, and you're not able to walk in good knowledge of where your feet are going to be. So that has been denial, a perspective at least. This is my own perspective. If you're new to the Jedi Conclave, this might help you tackle the IP lesson going into denial on the doctrine side of things. But again, this is just my perspective. This might just get your brain flowing. If you've been a part of the community for ages, this is probably just basic stuff for you, but who knows? Always good to hear things from a different point of view. So again, my name is Arisaig, Knight of the Conclave. May the Force continue to guide you.